Okay, we are back with another product review. I'm excited about this episode today because the product I'm going to be reviewing is actually a product that has been with me a very long time. And what's exciting about this episode is I can show you what I have been using and what I recently discovered and why both of them are great, and how each one can maybe accomplish something different when you're traveling. Now, I'm not always going to review travel products. It's just once I reviewed the toothpaste tubes, I got a lot of feedback on how much that actually helped people, because sometimes we will look at a review, sometimes we will see pictures, and I think our brain does something right away where we're like, how much do we trust this person? And you may not know me yet and you may not trust me yet, but for those of you who have been around for a while, you know that I'm very big on high quality, things that work well, trying to make sure that we save time, trying to make sure that we save money. I do not have a problem paying more for quality. What I have a problem with is when something is advertised as high quality and that's not what's actually delivered. So my goal today is actually to show you two things that work really well and give you the option of deciding, do I want to go with option A, option B, or maybe I want a combination of both based on the trip that I'm taking or the person in my family who is actually going to be using the product. So today we're going to talk about these packing cubes that I recently discovered. I already knew the brand. The brand is Bagsmart. I have used them for many other things, especially in the past few years. There are two bags specifically that I have from Bagsmart that we use every single time we travel. And there's actually two different sizes. So I use the larger one, my son uses the smaller one, and the texture of these bags are kind of unique. They are probably waterproof, but the reason I say probably is because the fabric that is used on these bags is definitely durable and high quality, but its texture is soft, but you also feel like it feels that way because it's repelling something, if that makes sense. So it's not something thin, like a thin waterproof bag. That's not what I'm talking about. Or like, what would have the similar texture to like a rain jacket. This is actually thicker, it's durable. We have used these bags on multiple trips. I have tried some of their other products throughout the years. I really do like this brand. One thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to start doing more of, is I'm going to start linking products in the show notes or in the description on YouTube. Also, before I forget, we have a new website. It's called thelabeledorganizingpodcast.com. You can go there, and I'm going to start writing about a lot of these products in an actual blog, and I'm going to be linking those items along with the articles. So I actually have a couple up there already. One of the products we're going to do its own episode for. It's amazing, but it's already up there. You can go check it out, thelabeledorganizingpodcast.com. We've had lots of issues with website stuff lately, and the way that I fixed it was I actually have the new website, and I have two other websites that I'm going to start working in as we go on this fall. So stay tuned for all of that, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that this is something I definitely want to do more of, not just to promote the products that I like and I think you should buy. I want to do it because by the time you get some of these products and you either see that they're low quality, they don't look like their picture, or you're just not happy with the presentation, it may be too late to get something else. So I think a lot of you sometimes will settle for less because you have no other option, or as you're trying to get ready for your trip, you're also trying to return these items so that you get your credit back, and that way you don't go on vacation for 2 weeks and forget about it and come back, and then you lose out on being able to return it. So hopefully today, this episode is going to help you when it comes to packing cubes, which is what we're going to be talking about today. The other stuff, like the other bags that I used, I want to do a future episode on. I thought about bringing them with me today, and I thought, no, if I bring everything with me that I like and that could possibly be part of this episode, it's going to end up being like a 3-hour episode. So with that said, I am going to show you the quote unquote new bag that I am using. The reason I do that in air quotes is because I'm not really sure how new these packing cubes are. I don't remember seeing them before from Bagsmart, so that's why I kind of say new. They're new to me. Maybe they've been out there a long time. Maybe in the past when I've purchased my other packing cubes, this was an option that popped up, but I really think I would have noticed it before, and I will show you why in just a second. Okay. So what I'm about to show you, these are packing cubes, but they are also considered compression bags, and not in the sense of you actually have the little, suction gadget that you can suck all the air out of, or, you're not zipping them like a plastic compression bag. These are packing bags that have 2 different zippers so that you can actually fill up the bag to max capacity when the second zipper is open. And then once you have everything in there, you can push down on the bag itself and start zipping that second zipper. And as you are zipping, it is, of course, compressing it down, because now you're zipping another section, which I believe you can push it down maybe 2 inches based on the listing that they had. But all I can say is that between the air coming out of the bag and the second zipper being zipped, you're actually going to be able to compress your clothes down a little bit to where you can take these packing cubes and fit more in the actual bag. Whether you have like a wheelie bag, a spinner bag, where you have 2 sections and you can stack the bags on top of each other, or you just have like a big weekender bag and you are placing the packing cubes in almost like a file system, if that makes sense. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can actually see these bags. I'm going to show them to you. If you are listening in your car, I'm going to describe them to you. And then if you want to go back later and watch the YouTube video, then you're actually going to be able to see the bags themselves. And then in post-production, see, I like doing this. I like pointing at the ceiling now. I'm going to put the actual listing with a link so that you can click on it and you can go to the product yourself. And I may earn some commissions. I try not to really promote the Amazon program too much, because I don't want to get to a place where I'm only recommending Amazon products. Like I said, Target is just as important to me, and they definitely do not sponsor me. So I always want to make sure that my reviews are honest. I want to make sure that I am recommending items and products that I actually use. If someone ever wants to send me something to review it, I'm open to reviewing it, but my reviews cannot be bought. This is a very important statement to make, because as we start the next podcast, which is going to be Clean Travels, I am going to review a lot of different things. I'm going to review the cleanliness of hotels, restaurants, rest stops, different places that I have gone into, like gas stations, and making sure that I give an honest review. Whether I like the place or not, that's kind of beside the point. Whether it's familiar, whether I've been there 1,000 times, I want to make sure that I am giving you guys a really honest look at what works and what doesn't. And for Clean Travels, it's going to be what is clean and what isn't. So that's kind of my little disclaimer there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the Bagsmart Packing Cubes that I purchased. And like I said, I have not purchased these before. I did recently because part of what was happening with my old packing cube is that there was no place to really have a label on it. And so I would pack a cube and you could kind of see through it, but then again, you're not really sure what you're looking at all the time. And so then I would actually take a luggage tag and I would write on a little card what was in the packing cube. So it worked, but I had to come up with all these different tags that hung off of the bag. And then a lot of times those tags really got in the way. When you're trying to unzip the bag, you'd have that luggage tag. So it just felt like, okay, yes, we're organized. We have some labels on some things, but it's not really working the way that it should. There has to be a better way. And I actually thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could find a packing cube that actually had a label already in it? And, you know, whether or not it comes with lots of labels or you can get replacements or it's just something that you know, can make your own, just to be able to have a place where a label can go is really important if you're trying to make sure that you're not opening all of your swimsuits when you really want to open all of your tank tops. And yes, that will save you time if you can go directly to the packing cube that you are looking for in your bag. And it's not going to disrupt all of the other bags that are packed for a later time in your trip. So let me just show you. Between the two bags, this is the smaller of the two. It's not super small. And I'll just go ahead and show you this one, and then I'm going to show you what I was using before. So this is the Bagsmart packing cube that has the label. How great is this? So what they did was, this is actually a 2-pack. They put all of the labels down in this one, but see how it's just an open window? If you don't want to actually label all of your packing cubes, this is also a place where you could put business cards. So if you're traveling for work and you know people are still handing you business cards and you don't necessarily want to keep it on you, or you know you just don't want to throw it in your work bag, you can actually organize them here. But what I recommend is you actually use these. You actually take one of these tags that says Bagsmart, you flip it over, and I'll just go ahead and pull these out to show you. So as you can see here, they actually give you quite a few. See how they expand out where it's like a little accordion. So of course all of these are perforated. You can write on them and tear them off, but then these are blank on this side. And so you've got quite a few. Let's go ahead and count them. We're going to figure this out together. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you've got 10 labels. So that gives you lots of options. Now, if I were Bagsmart, this is what I would do. Okay, Bagsmart, here's my advice. What I would do differently, I would create just a little bitty bag for these. You can even get like just one of those little, you know, plastic bags. And I would actually label the bag Bagsmart. So the little zipper thing that this would go into, the little plastic bag that could be stored in, what I would do is make all of these blank on both sides so that you don't have the word Bagsmart taking up this side of every single label. Now I understand why they did it. They want to make sure they have that brand recognition. So they obviously have accomplished that. But for the person who's actually using it, it would be nice if you could use both sides, because then that way when you go to pack, if you're going somewhere in the summer, you may actually have bathing suits. And so on one side of the tag, maybe it says bathing suits, but on the other side, maybe you're going to a ski resort and you want to have gloves instead. And, you know, so maybe you've got a tag that you can do for the winter and for the summer, but it's not hard to make these. You could just use this as a template and you could take a plain index card and make more cards. Maybe they even have more. But anyway, I'm going to put this back in here. So there are 2 sizes. So you've got this size, which is probably considered their medium, I would say. And then this one is slightly larger. And I will explain in a moment what I have in here. But if you put the 2 of them together, they're really not that different as far as size. So if I line them up here, you're gonna see a little bit of the difference. So if I line them up here, see how there's probably another couple of inches right here. So this one is definitely the smaller one out of the 2, but it's not like you get a super tiny one and then a big one, okay? What I like about these bags, other than the label, if you flip to this side, you've got like a really nice durable, and I'm sure it's waterproof. It feels very thick and it feels durable. And if you hear that, it's a little bit thicker than the ones that I was using before. So you've got the label, you've got this durable, thick material, and then all of this is mesh. Now I actually have a black jacket in here, so you may not be able to tell, but this is actually matte mesh so the whole thing can breathe. Here are the zippers. See how they're little bungees? So those are really durable. And I have checked out the zippers. So these zippers, these are almost like, I don't know if some of you have like the Lululemon jackets. This zipper is very similar, where it's a very durable jacket and you feel like it's actually a disappearing zipper. I don't know if they call it that, but it's very durable. I received an item a few days ago that every single zipper was broken. As soon as I opened it, it was like a duffel bag and it was small, and the size of it is what encouraged me to buy it. But I literally checked the inside zipper and the piece broke off in my hand. And I thought, well, maybe I don't have to use the inside little bag. And then I went to unzip the outside and it broke. It like completely separated. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna send that back. But this is different. This is very durable and it has this handle. So I went ahead and brought with me a hanger, because what's great about this is when you're on vacation, you can actually take your packing cubes, look at this, and you can actually hang it like this. So when you're at the hotel and maybe they give you 5 or 6 hangers, instead of unpacking everything in your bag, all you have to do is take the cube out of your bag, hang it on this hanger, and then you can line these up in the closet. I mean, tell me that isn't a good idea. And I did bring with me today, I know I give the Container Store a hard time, but I did bring one of their slim hangers today. These are the hangers that I use for myself. I love them. I love that they're slim. I love that they're wood and they're black. And I haven't been able to find anything like it on Amazon that I like, that's exactly like this. So this is one of those products that I will always go back to the Container Store for. But I brought it today to show you that this is a very quick way to unpack your bag without unpacking every single thing. Because like some of you have been on vacation before and you think that you're going to use, you know, certain clothes to maybe go to dinner or go to an event, and you have them packed separately, but then something changes. Maybe your plans change. Or maybe you're at one hotel for a couple of days and then you've got to go to another hotel, and it's on those days that you have to wear the outfit. You can keep everything packed in the cube and, you know, still keep it in the bag separate so that you know, I don't really need this right now. Or, like I said, you can hang it up in the closet. But I wanted to show you how I packed this, and it's going to be kind of hard just because of the angle, but I'm still going to do it. So it's already packed with a puffer jacket that I have worn probably the last 3 winters. The reason I brought this is because I'm also going to link the puffer if they still have it. because what I love about this puffer, it actually came with its own little packing bag. And I tossed that at some point. And, you know, for those of you who are concerned, I donated it. I didn't throw it away. But some of these packing bags, some of these little bags that come with the jacket, you have to pack them so tight that it wrinkles the jacket. So what I started doing, and I did it with the old packing cubes that I used to use, was that I will have one cube just for my jacket, because sometimes I go on a trip and I don't need my jacket the entire time. Some people lose their jackets because they throw them in the car, and as people are unpacking, they just start grabbing everything that's loose and they take it in the hotel room, and then somehow a jacket gets, you know, lost in a closet, or it gets shoved into a drawer, or it's on a hook and people miss it, or you're just like physically trying to carry it around and it's hard to keep track of. So what I do with my puffer jacket is it has its own cube. And so when I go somewhere, it's in my bag, especially like the larger bag from Bagsmart that I take. This kind of sits at the bottom. And then everything else, all my other packing cubes stack on top of it. So if it's a trip that I never need this jacket, it doesn't even get in the way of the other cubes. It's on the bottom the entire time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, you've got two sets of zippers. You've got this single zipper right here. This is what controls the compression part of it. And then you've got the two zippers that meet here in the middle. This controls the actual closure of the bag. So you actually put the item in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to start with this little zipper right here, and I'm just going to go all the way around. So as I'm unzipping, that's where you're going to see that it's expanding right there. So I'm going to come all the way around. And as we get back to where we started, you're going to see that this jacket is very loose in here. You can probably hear it swishing around. So it definitely fits within the cube. I can put more stuff in it. I actually have a puffer vest that's very similar, and maybe I'll go ahead and link that too. I'm going to link that one too, because between the jacket and the puffer vest, other than when I go to Indiana, and even then I rely more on layering instead of trying to get like a big coat, like winter coat. A lot of times I am packing these two things together so that I know, okay, today I'm wearing a sweatshirt while I'm traveling, but then once I get to Indiana, I may need either my puffer jacket or my puffer vest. And so there's plenty of room in here. I'm going to show you. So see how I'm grabbing onto this? This is all empty space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually unzip it now and pull out the coat. And I'm going to try not to unfold it, because then that way I won't have to worry about that part. Well, maybe I should if I'm going to promote this coat. So this is my puffer jacket. And like I said, I've had it for a few years. It is incredibly warm for how thin it is. It is from Outdoor Ventures. And it's got the hood, and it's, I mean, between the zippers, it's one of those things where it doesn't cut into my jawline when I wear it. And then you've got like the little bungee closure for the hood when it's really, really cold. And it's got tons of pockets. Anyway, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that today, but I just wanted to show you. So if the hood comes forward and I fold it like this, and I take the sleeves and I fold it, see how it's kind of like a big square? And, you know, it's a puffer jacket, so it's not like it's, you know, super thin. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cube and I'm going to put it back in here. And then I'm going to zip the actual cube first. So I'm gonna zip all the way around. See, we're back to our square. And then I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to push it and zip it at the same time. But here's the smaller zipper. And so you're actually going to zip and bring these together and zip. And then I'm just gonna compress it against me. And then I'm gonna continue to bring it around. So if you're doing this on your bed or in your closet, it's gonna be a lot easier. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is, even if I'm just kind of doing it with one hand. It doesn't have to be like a really super specific thing. All I'm doing is just kind of pushing out the air and bringing this zipper around. And we're almost to the last part. So if I had the jacket and the vest in here, it would still do the same thing. You're basically pushing out the air and zipping. Okay, so again, here's the finished product. See that? And I can push out more air if I want. But see how it went from more of a big square cube to more of like a flat, it almost looks like a backpack, doesn't it? But sometimes what I will do, I'm going to tell you this as well. My son, when he goes with his dad, sometimes he only goes for one night. And instead of packing a big bag or even a backpack, I will take one of these and put one pair of pajamas, one outfit for the next day, socks, underwear. I'll put his toothbrush in a Ziploc bag and a comb, like whatever he needs for just one night, and getting dressed the next day. I will put it in a small packing cube. And actually, this is a good time for me to show you my old packing cube. See this guy? This is my old packing cube. I am going to link these because for value, you can get, I think, 8 pieces of these for the same price as 2 of these. Now, these worked for me for a very long time, and there's multiple sizes. So see this big size? This is similar to what I would have put my puffer in before, but I wouldn't have been able to compress it down. This is more of like a cheap vinyl. The good thing is there's no odor. It's not like cheap as in, oh, like we're settling. Like this is, I really liked these, and I actually purchased this whole set for like 3 different people. So gift wise, if you have somebody that you know of who's not organized when they travel, or if you have a teenager or a young child that you're not sure if it's actually going to come back, like if they're going to lose one, if they're going to like be too rough with it, I would actually recommend starting out with these, or like I said, get these for yourself and get these for your child. Or maybe you have a husband that's rough with the stuff in their bag. And so the reason I brought these is because see how like you can kind of tell, like this is more of like a cheap vinyl right here, but there's no place to put a label. So what I would do is I would take the luggage tag and I would put it around here, or I would run it through the zipper, but then it was always in the way. So these have worked for me for a very long time. And when I get home, I'm able to like fold them up when they're empty and then shove them back in the bag, and they're ready for the next time. But sometimes I will just take this small one and I will pack my child just for the evening. And I left these in here the last time he came back just to show you, because I knew I was going to do this. I wanted to show you how much can fit in this size bag. This is not Bagsmart. This is the other brand. I can't remember what it is. It's some kind of Amazon brand, but I will link this in the description so that you guys can find it, because what I actually think is going to end up happening, I would not be surprised if you guys get a couple of these, or when they get restocked, I think there's like a 4-piece, a 6-piece. Both of these, both brands are kind of upping their game. Like these already came with shoe bags, and I think the bigger set of these come with shoe bags, but the set that I first got of these never came with a laundry bag, and I think now the set includes a laundry bag. It also includes like a DOP kit, and so you've got all these different items where you can separate things, and you don't have to worry about trying to have, Ziploc bags of toiletries, which I still do. I do a combination of things, but a lot of it comes with the kit, so that especially if you're getting ready to go on a trip, you can lay everything out, you can open up all the bags, and you can just start placing things where it makes sense. And at least you've got the major things separated. Like maybe you have all of your jeans in a bag like this, but then maybe you have all of your, tank tops or shorts in a bag like this. But I was going to show you, this bag right here still has a ton of room. So my son, the last time he went with his dad, I did take the PJs out of here, but as you can see, he's got one Pokemon shirt, two Pokemon shirts, and then a pair of shorts. Now, he actually, I think, yeah, this is what we did. So I put one outfit, an extra t-shirt if he needed it, and then on top I had pajamas, a few pairs of underwear, a couple pairs of socks, and zip this up. And when we met his dad, all I had to do was say, okay, here's his stuff for the night. It's so small. Like if you had a tote, like a shopping tote, you could just put that in there. So if you live in an apartment or, you're trying to make fewer trips from the car, and you're like, hey, grab your overnight bag. Like for one night, you really don't need an actual bag. You could use a packing cube, and that way you don't have very much to deal with. So these are the ones I used to use. I still really like them. On the front, they kind of have these little pictures to show you what all you could put in there. I really think that, obviously they're making recommendations, but there have been times where I've put like 2 or 3 outfits in a bag like this. And that's why I wanted to show you this, because you may look and say, okay, it says that I'm only going to be able to put my socks in here. I think what it's really saying is you could probably put bras, underwear, and socks because there's so much room. So again, these are kind of like your entry-level organizing packing cubes. And when we start memberships on the website, I think I'm going to start memberships New Year's Day. So mark your calendar. New Year's Day 2027, we are going to start memberships on the website. And there's going to be all kinds of things in there. There's going to be courses, there's going to be digital downloads. It's going to be a really big resource for you. And what you do is you just pick your commitment level. So entry level organizing would probably have a recommendation like this, where you're getting 8 pieces for X amount of money. And then our top level membership is the pro organizer level. So something like this. This may even fall under like one of the middle categories. If I find something that's even more decked out than this, I will let you know. But what would probably be considered the pro organizer level is having the entire system, where you have the bags. I think they have like a toiletry bag, cinch bags. I also just purchased some actual compression bags from Bagsmart. I think they get here in 2 days, but it actually comes with the little suction pump. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to use those for travel or if I want to use those for storage at the house, but that's something that I'm going to look at when it gets here and kind of figure that out. Again, I think that you can use a combination of packing cubes, Ziploc bags, if you want to use like actual compression bags where you take the vacuum and you suck out the air. But these are great because it's almost like a manual compression that's not going to make it so vacuum sealed where everything's wrinkled. Because that is another complaint of true compression bags, especially if they're like that plastic, is that once you take that vacuum to the seal and it really starts compressing, then by the time you actually unpack it, a lot of stuff has pushed in and it's wrinkled. And so, yes, it may be folded, but then you may have like some weird wrinkles across your chest, or, your elbow may have like a line in it or something. So I really like these. I'm excited to use these. I just ordered another pack of 2 because they're on sale. This episode should air by tomorrow, because whenever I do these videos, I pretty much I'm not doing any editing. You guys are hearing everything. So I pretty much just throw it together, stick it up online. But the sale may still be going on by the time this episode airs. And so if that's the case, I would try to snatch these up, because the last time I looked, I think they are almost out. And the higher packs, the larger packs, are temporarily out in the black. I do everything black, white, and gray. That's just how I roll. But I think there's like a mint green. I think there's a pink in the like 6-pack, 8-pack, 12-pack, like that has all of the stuff. So price-wise, without the sale, I just want to give you guys a heads up. You can get I think it's an 8-piece of what I had already been using that has the shoe bag, the dot bag, which I should have brought that with me. I'll feature that in an episode when we talk about like toiletry bags. But I think you can get the whole 8-piece set normally for like $23 or something. I normally see these on sale for like $17. The Bagsmart set of 2 are on sale right now, I think, for like $12.99, but they're normally like $17. So you're getting 2 of these, but obviously you're getting really good quality. You're getting the label here, which is huge. Really big. The other thing, I'm sorry, let me finish my thought, because I get so excited sometimes I go off on tangents. But with this, I feel like there's so much value in this. I really think that as long as you take care of it and you don't like constantly squish it around, I really think that this could last you a few years. The only reason I wouldn't say longer is just because some of these can be hard to wash. You can wash them. I'm not going to guarantee that, they're not going to come apart. But like with these old cubes, they have never smelled. I've never had a problem with them. They're easy to wipe out because they're that cheap, vinyl, almost like a raincoat, like a cheap raincoat or like an umbrella. So anytime that I feel like these get a little dirty, I just wipe them out and air them out. With the Bagsmart bags, I think that this would probably be a little bit harder to wash, but you could definitely spot clean it because of this durable fabric on the back. You just have this mesh on this side, which obviously if you spill something on it, may be a little bit harder to clean up, but I love these. I love these so much. And like I said, I am going to feature other things from Bagsmart because I have noticed over the last probably, 5 years. I don't know how long they've been around, but I have noticed their stuff for a long time. And I've had those bigger bags, those 2-size bags, for probably 4-5 years now. So we're coming up on a time where technically they probably should be coming apart at the seams, and they're still very, very durable. And I still use them all the time whenever we go on a trip, unless we are using our spinner bags to go into a hotel. If we're just like going back to my mom's and it's easier just to carry bags into the house, I will take those 2 sizes because my son and I each have a bag, and we can fit a lot in there, and they still stay pretty lightweight and they're easy to maneuver. And so we love those. But I have been super excited. Once I got these, I was like, okay, this is the next episode because of the label, the durability. These zippers are awesome. I just feel like this is going to last a really long time. And like I said, there's 2 different sizes. So this is technically the bigger one. And then this one right here is slightly smaller. So here's the thing with the labels and kids. Remember how I said that depending on who is going to be using this, maybe the kids use the cheap ones and you use this one. The other perk of this, my son's going to be going on a middle school trip, and he's going to be like in a cabin. Like it's going to be at some camp, and there's going to be probably, 20 kids in one cabin. So you can imagine that as they are wearing their clothes and packing and unpacking, that there's a really good chance that their stuff is going to get mixed up with someone else's. My son has already been using, obviously, the cheap version of these. So if all of a sudden he goes on his trip for 3 days and I literally pack him per day, I can either make this label day 1 and then have like a day 2 or day 3, or I can just put his name on every single one of his bags. And that way, when he pulls these out of his big bag, there's no confusion. Like, these are his bags, and he can even carry them like this. If he has to go to the showers and maybe his PJs are all in one bag, he can just carry this and he can hang it on a hook. If you have kids, and I say kids, if you have young adults who are in college, who live in a dorm, these can also be really good to carry to the showers because of this. Not to put their toiletries in, but if they go down to the shower and that's where they actually get dressed, or if they put their PJs on, whatever outfit needs to be put on, you could probably even put, in fact, I know you could put like a pair of shoes in here. So you could put your regular shoes, you could put your outfit for the day, and then you take it down to the showers with you and you hang it on the hook, and then you've got your towel over it, right? And then after you change, you could put your robe in here or whatever you wear down to the showers. And then this goes back up on a hook while you brush your teeth or get ready at the sink. So I love these. I think that these are a good investment. I think that if you can get online and you can land the bigger quantities of them, especially while they're on sale, or like I said, if you want a different color, like pink or mint, I think they still have them and they have them on sale. This is going to be great for packing, compressing. If you have off-season items that you have in compression bags, and again, every time you open them for the next season, they're all wrinkled, maybe you want to switch to these. Now, they're not airtight, so what I would do if you're going to use these for storage, and I have another idea too, but I'll tell you that in a second. You could put, like if it's sweaters, you can put sweaters in there. The label says sweaters, and then when you zip it back up, you compress it, and then all of these can line up in a weatherproof tote. And that way it's still protected from pests and from, getting like moisture and all that in it in the weatherproof tote. But that way you have everything sectioned off to where if you just want like lightweight sweaters in the spring, you can grab that cube without disturbing your other sweaters, or your summer stuff rather, and that will help keep you organized. The other thought I just had, seasonal items like a Christmas tree skirt, right? Something that maybe is fabric, but it's not clothing. You could put it in a compression bag like this, label it Christmas tree skirt, zip it up, compress it, and then lay those into a weatherproof tote or in your Christmas tote. Some people have really cute Christmas bags, and you could take them and like put them in there just like this guy, because it kind of stands up on its own. You could just do that in like a Christmas bag, as long as it's not like in a storage unit or an attic or something like that. If you're just keeping it in your closet and you just want it separate from other items, that is something else you could do. You could get like little cubes and put these in there, or baskets. So those are some different options. Now, the very last thing before we go, I did order something else a couple days ago. It came yesterday, and I already knew I was going to do this episode, and I want to show you why, in my opinion, product reviews are so important, okay? This product is a compression storage bag with a zipper, and they are gray. Now, I'm going to find the listing and I'm going to put it here. So for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm pointing. So in post, I'm going to have the picture right here of what it looked like on Amazon. It's kind of like when you see those pictures and it's like, this is what I ordered and this is what I got. Now, some of you may like this material. Some of you may like this look. To me, I guess in the picture, and once I post it, I will remember, I thought it was more of like a soft fabric compression cube, or maybe like a gray blend, or like a herringbone or something. This, to me, this is what came. So I don't know if you can see, look how shiny it is. Now, some of you may like that. I don't know if you can tell, and I'm going to hold this up here like this, because if this is here and the product photo is here, we're going to see how close those are. So I may be proven wrong, but I just want to show you. So this is what came. It's a very large bag, okay? I have some mattress protectors for my air mattresses that I've had in a tote. I've had them in compression bags. The problem with the plastic compression bags is that once you actually suck all that air out, they're really hard, like they're sharp. And so I have tried putting compression bags into larger totes and they don't always fit. So what I was going to do was I was going to use this compression bag. It had a handle, has a handle, and it's really big. But look at these zippers. You can tell the zippers are really cheap. It doesn't even matter that they're gold. I prefer silver, but I don't know if you can tell. It's actually more of like a greenish gray. It's kind of hard to tell, I'm sure. But I haven't even looked inside of this yet. Let me see. Look, it does have a little bit of an odor to it. But see the inside of this zipper? It almost looks dirty, doesn't it? This just isn't very good quality. But it came as a 2-pack. What's funny is on the little Amazon label, it says new upgraded. I don't know what the old one looked like. I'm not going to put the link to this because I don't want to confuse you guys, and I don't want to put down a product that may work for some people. The only reason I was harsh on the Matador toothpaste tubes because they just simply didn't work. This is more of a preference thing. I think you could actually use these. They're very big. But now as I look at I don't know if you guys can see that from here. It almost looks, you know when a fabric gets lightly sprayed with water and it almost leaves a stain? When I actually look at this in the light, it actually has that look to it. But it's a very cheap fabric, very cheap zipper. And of course, I'm, not trying to compare these two, but when you see a zipper that is well made like this, and it does pretty much the same thing, and then you see something like this. So look at the difference in quality, you guys. And I know you see it. I know you do. But you've got this really nice zipper here with really nice bungee cord little little handles. And then you've got that type of zipper. So see, yeah. Okay, so these are going back. That's why I wanted to show you them today, because I am gonna send them back. I'm not gonna wait until I've run out of time. But when I do find something that works and I do that episode, then I wanted to make sure I at least showed you these first. Because sometimes we read reviews. I will never buy something that has super bad reviews. I feel like if enough people who maybe don't even care as much as I do are rating something a 3, a 3.5, a 3.9, chances are I'm going to be really disappointed. So I feel like these had a review of at least 4.5. That's kind of my standard. I may have settled for something that was like, a 4.2 just because I thought maybe it would work. Maybe I only read the first couple of reviews, but that is definitely not going to work for me. So the other thing with this episode is just showing you the difference in quality, because you've got something really high quality like this. You've got something that's kind of like a middle of the road, even though it's kind of like a starter packing cube. It still has worked very well for us. It's kept things separated. The zippers have been good. Look at the zipper. And I am going to promote this one. I am going to put the link to this one. So this isn't the best zipper in the world, but it's still very durable. And it's one of these that's like really easy. So this one is a better zipper. And it's one of those that like it doesn't get caught, but it has a little bit more resistance to it because it is a stronger zipper. This is very easy to zip open. So again, if you've got a younger child, they can unzip this very easily. And again, these are so easy to replace. Some people will get 2 for 1 bag. So maybe they just really want to separate everything out, or maybe they're going to be gone for a couple of weeks and they really want everything divided to where they know, okay, this is the first leg of the trip, this is the second leg of the trip. These really help with that. And then you've got these guys that I don't even know. That's a mistake right there. Definitely a mistake. But here in just one episode, you can see the difference in quality, and the price range is really not that different. It's not like this entire set is like $100. It's not. I think if you get like the highest piece set, you're probably paying like $35, but again, they're on sale and they're out. The highest piece set of the black, I think, is out right now. These, even if you pay full price, I think you're only paying like $23 or something. And so it's worth it. It's an investment. If you travel a lot, or you don't travel that often, but when you do, it is a complete chaotic frustration. You definitely want packing cubes. If you're at home and you're like, I don't have a lot of drawer space and there are some things that I want to keep in my closet, but I don't need them this season, you don't have to use a packing cube just for packing. If it works in your drawer, you can put stuff in there and have the label on it. And then every time you open your drawer, you see the packing cube and the label. And when you do go on vacation, if all of your bathing suits are in something like this, which bathing suits don't take up a lot of room, you could probably put 10 bathing suits in here, to be honest. When you open up your drawer and you see that packing cube and it says bathing suits, then you're going to know, okay, I don't need them for another couple of months, but there they are. And if I go on vacation, I like to take all of my bathing suits so they're already packed. So I really do think whether you make an investment like this or you get the ones that are a little bit higher quality, or you're mixing and matching, I do think that having packing cubes is going to really enhance your traveling experience, because you can use them in so many ways. You can even use the big ones for your laundry. And I think a couple of them actually come with like a laundry bag. I think the new ones actually come with a laundry bag that you can actually put into a washing machine, and everything within the bag actually gets washed. So that could be a perk if it's something that they've added to the new listing that comes in that same inexpensive package. So I hope this episode was helpful. Please make sure to visit the new website, thelabeledorganizingpodcast.com. Make sure to find us on YouTube at Labeled Organizing if you haven't found us yet, as well as Instagram at Labeled Organizing. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.